Guys, we're out here today with the mini excavator. If I can get it in the picture, don't know why I can't. So the major problem I had with this thing's been absolutely awesome. It's done everything I've asked it to do. It's just been really good. Now there's one problem that I did have with it, and it ended up causing me to go to the hospital, and it wasn't until I figured out what the problem was, and it was the carbon monoxide. It was coming inside the cab of this thing. I spent about 13 hours running this thing, and each time was like 5 to 6 hours at a time without getting out. And if you look at this exhaust, it barely sticks out the back here. And then with the seat, the way the seat is on these, there's nothing sealing right up in there. And you can see the gap on the back there. And then there's all these random holes that all the gases just come right up inside the cab. And the reading I was getting off this thing is kind of crazy, because anything over 50 is, I think 50 is where you hit the danger point where the alarm goes off. And I have one of these meters that actually will tell you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in there so you guys see it reads 0, and then we're going to start it, and then you guys will be able to watch what the how fast it climbs. Now, like I said, I was in this thing 5 to 6 hours at a time for the 13 hours. So a half hour, I think less than a half hour I put it in there, it already hit 200. So that's dangerous. But we are fixing it. I did order got a new fan we're gonna put inside there to help cool this thing down, cool the motor down. I'm gonna be ordering the hydraulic cooler here soon. I got relay and switch for the fan. I got some sound deadening for I think it's the heat, yeah. And we're gonna put that underneath the seat and everything to try to insulate the seat, or basically insulate the cab from the motor. And then I have some it's like the air conditioning foam, it's sticky foam, and I'm gonna use that around the edge of the seat where that panel goes down, so when you sit down that gets compressed against that. And then we'll check the levels and see what the levels are then. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead, I'll get it in there, get the camera set up, get this thing started so you guys can watch the number and see what it gets to. Alright, so you can see it reads 0 now. So now I'll go ahead and fire it up. Alright, so now you guys can see what this thing was doing. Now imagine that was only 4 minutes, I think 4 minutes and 22 seconds it took to get that high, and it was just going to keep going and going and going. And that doesn't matter if the door's open, the door could be open, you can have the window open, it does not matter. That's just how much is coming through right there. So we need to add an extra, make the muffler longer, make it go down, and then seal this bottom half off. And then I think once we seal that off, that down, and then exhaust down, and then we put that fan in there and be able to get some fresh air pumping through these. I'm going to end up putting it right here on this side, and then this will be sucking air, fresh air into there. Two things will happen is it'll keep the engine cool and help push any of the exhaust out that shouldn't be there. But like I said, it just would climb, and now imagine being in there for 5 to 6 hours at a time and not getting out of the cab. And I ended up going to the hospital because I was feeling extremely loopy. I couldn't think, couldn't talk. And we couldn't figure it out. Went down to the hospital. They tested my blood and found out that they found carbon dioxide in my blood or in my system. And then they gave me some stuff through my IV, and then I ended up coming back out of it. Came home, used the tester, and this is what I saw. And like I said, with less than a half hour, it was over 200. And you saw in 4 minutes right here. And thing is, and also too, that was at idle. That wasn't even at like any idle speed or anything. That was just flat out idle. It was like that. So imagine when you got half throttle going and how much is coming up in there. The other thing I'm going to do, because it's just annoying, is they put these needle tip Zerk fittings in. And then they go and put ball Zerk fittings, plus the one back in here to grease this part is kind of annoying because it goes straight out. So I'm going to swap the needle ones out so they're all the same. And then I have with these ones here, and then I have some that curve up, so that way it's a lot easier to get to when you have to grease this thing. And then besides that, everything's been really good about it. I just wanted to put the word out there about this, because there's a lot more people buying these things with these cabs, and that's really not a safe thing. Somebody's going to end up passing out in one of these things. So if you want to see this thing see what we can do, because I'm going to try everything I can, and then we're going to do all this stuff first, and then we're going to test it again and see what the levels are, and try to get it down to under 50, and then we should be good. So if you guys want to see that, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment below what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching.